making a return appearance from last year's Rolex 24.
Yeah.
Where here on this show,
yes,
he called his shot.
Yeah, it was Jordan.
And we got the guys here. There's Jordan.
Jordan Taylor's here. Yeah. Let's go and bring Jordan Taylor in.
Oh, we got both of them.
And their brother. No, I thought one brother was like a turncoat. I thought one
he went to Penske.
I thought one flipped teams and left it the other high and dry. Is that what happened, Jordan?
He did leave us.
He did.
He's gone.
Oh my God!
He's out of the family group text as well.
Those are family group texts.
So how's that? Is this as close as you two been around each other in a while?
It actually has.
Let's give him some headphones there. Yeah, so last year you guys came in and you were telling us about how you're going to be in the Rolex 24, and you had Jeff Gordon as a teammate, and we didn't know how well he was going to be able to do as far as racing. Turns out you guys win the whole race.
Yeah, it was, it went like clockwork, like a Rolex clock. The race was a nightmare with the weather conditions. It was raining all night. It was freezing. But Jeff did his time at the beginning of the race, got out of the car, and...
Now, there were four of you in the race, right?
Yeah, it was Ricky, myself, Jeff, and a guy named Max Angelo.
Yeah, we got Jordan Taylor from Wayne Taylor Racing, and then we got Ricky Taylor here from Penske, Team Acura, and they're both here, and they're going to be competing against each other in the Rolex 24 this weekend.
Now, in the last year, with the four of you, who was the weak link? Was it old Jeff Gordon?
It probably wasn't the one that got the raise.
Was it old Jeff Gordon, or was it your brother here, or what?
Ricky's the only one that got fired. So.
Ricky, were you the weak link last year?
Yeah, I guess so, because when I left the team, they replaced me the next day. I didn't even miss me. It was like I was out.
They had that guy in the bedroom just waiting, dude, for you to haul ass.
Oh man!
Are you running that new the NSX? Is that what your car is?
It's an Acura prototype. Yeah. It's actually got the engine out of the Honda Odyssey, which doesn't really sound very exciting.
The van? That's the
twin turbo Acura prototype. It's really exciting looking. It's really aggressive lines, and it's the debut at the Rolex 24 this year for Acura and Team Penske back in sports car racing.
You guys as brothers, does it get super competitive with the racing part of this, or is it like, look, this is a business, we'll do the best we can, who cares, as long as we get paid?
I'll tell you how competitive it gets between these two guys. Yeah. I follow Jordan, I follow both of them on
Jordan and Ricky Taylor
on Instagram, and is that your guys' driveway?
Oh, it's a friend of ours. Yeah.
All right, so they have a buddy whose driveway is actually a race course, and they go karting on it. And you want to see how competitive they get? Follow each one of these guys on Instagram and see how they gets on the karting on the driveway.
It's a little dangerous.
It gets a little intense.
So you do get very competitive.
I'd say on the go-kart track, you can get a little bit more aggressive. On the big stuff, it's a little more serious.
They don't cost $500,000 a piece.
Right. Who's older? Is it Jordan or Ricky?
Ricky's older.
Yeah. Oh, so you're older. You're the older of the two. And then who do people consider the better driver?
Straight to it.
Who's the slowest? Who's the fastest?
Let's add this to and lover.
Who has the better credit score?
That's obviously the question we get all the time, but there's no good answer in racing because every weekend, you can have a good day or a bad day.
You go back and forth.
Like a golfer, yeah, so.
But you're better, right? You're better.
We know we deal with some adverse weather conditions, like you just mentioned at the Rolex. It's an outdoor race, obviously, like most of them are, or whatever. Is one of you guys have a strength, or do one of you guys look at that as like kind of something you don't really like doing, or?
Yeah, the thing that makes road course racing unique is that we race in any conditions. So over 24 hours, rain, shine. 1 year, it's always freezing cold. The rain is really stressful because, any little mistake is magnified.
Well, rain and cold is stressful together because the tires clam up and they're much more slippery, right? You can't get them warm, so they stick.
Yeah, exactly. Last year I think it was 40 degrees and raining, the hardest thing was to get temperature in the tires because once they get hot, they get stickier. And that's what really provides most of the grip, more than even the treads.
Okay, now something Jimmy pointed out yesterday, I think, was that these cars, what's different from this and NASCARs, these cars are the actual cars that you would see like on the road, right?
Depending on the class that you're in. There's one class that is the GT. You guys are racing prototypes, right? Yeah. So the prototypes look like the classic, like when you were a kid, when you would draw a race car, you draw these exotic kind of bodies and everything, and that's what these guys race.
Okay, so this is not like
it's not the Porsche or Ferrari. The engines are in there.
Though.
Okay.
They're all in the same race.
Sound system in them or no?
It's pretty loud.
Oh, too
AC?
loud. Okay, all right. AC, air conditioning.
There's actually 3 different races going on at the same time. Like Angel said, there's the prototypes, which is our class, the top series, and then there's 2 different GT classes. You see Corvettes, Lamborghinis,
And that's
Ferraris,
the series
all
that you're
kinds of
thinking,
stuff.
Russ, that those cars resemble what's on the road.
Gotcha.
And does your car have like my Rogue where it goes beep 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 if I go over too much? No? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I probably couldn't drive it.
Ross, I have a question for either Jordan or Ricky Taylor, who will be racing in the Rolex 24.
For both of you guys, what is the best car you've ever drove? Both of you. What's like your Nicolas Cage to his Eleanor?
Street car race.
Street car.
You're just personal
We
favorite.
named this car, the Acura, it's Lola.
Lola.
Because Lola's a gypsy name and she doesn't really know where she's going yet, but we're going to Rolex 24 with her. And, she's my favorite so far.
Okay, and
Sponsor.
Well,
Good.
I'd have to go with our car because we won pretty much every race last
all
year.
right.
Oh, but he was with us.
he was there then.
We'll see what happens.
Follow-up question: have you ever drove a 2006 Nissan Sentra bone stock drive?
It's a fine machine.
It's a sweet ride.
Hey, I want to ask you guys about aspiration because we're seeing a lot of turbo cars. Of course, Ford makes a GT with a 6-cylinder that outperforms almost everything, and that's unheard of. We come from the big block era, big, huge horsepower and stuff. Do you guys find it different driving turbo aspirated cars and the way that they have to kind of spool up, or is the engineering kind of beyond that now?
Yeah, it's interesting because Jordan's driving a normally aspirated
Right.
V8. I'm in a twin turbo V6 and much bigger displacement in Jordan's car, so you naturally think tons of torque, but the amount of development that's gone into turbo powered cars, that spooling up is instantaneous now, and it feels just like a big V8.
Acts like a blower almost now. And that was the big thing back in the day, right? You didn't want turbo because of the lag. Now the blowers were like immediate, but they were more efficient on the turbo side. I was just kind of interesting from a driver's standpoint. Can you tell like the torque and the throttle as opposed to those big blocks that happen instantaneously, you know?
Yeah, which is a great feeling because
Yeah.
you don't want to have to adapt to that or wait for the power to come in.
Right.
It's just right there.
Jordan and Ricky Taylor here. They won the Rolex 24 last year and will be participating
guys'
again
watches?
this year. How come you're not wearing a Rolex? What's up with that?
In my closet.
So they are race car drivers. I mean, who actually won a huge race last
Local
year.
guys.
Local guys. Yes, go ahead, Angel.
What do you guys anticipate? And obviously it's difficult to know that before you actually get on the track, but looking forward, what do you anticipate the most difficult thing about this year's Rolex 24?
I mean, it's always tough. This year's going to be the toughest by far. We have 20 cars in our class. We're usually
wow.
10 to 15, so it's by far the biggest and most competitive grid we've
And that's
had
in the
years.
prototype division, right?
Yeah. So then total, there's probably over 50 cars on the grid.
Oh, wow.
in the whole
Okay.
race.
Guys, unlike Angel, do you guys know who Neil Diamond is?
Of course.
Horse with no name, right? It's a great song.
Reverend Blue Jeans?
Yeah, we're
Reverend Blue Jeans, exactly.
Reverend.
I'm just, that's what I used to say. I used to think it was Reverend Blue Jeans. Yeah. What do you guys do for fun? If you're not racing, if you're not practicing, what do you guys do for fun?
Well, we like to go karting on the driveway.
So racing and that is even if you're just having fun, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and then I dug up my backyard as well to build a little dirt bike track as well. So,
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yes, Angel, question for
And this is
either
coming
guys?
off texting, Roll Mobile 77031. What are you guys' impression of Fernando Alonso driving this year?
It's super cool. I mean, you always try to gauge yourself against other
race the
drivers
best, right?
and figure out where you are. But when you see someone like that, you know he's at the top of his game. He's the best in the world. And to have him come over here and in the middle of to kick off the year just shows how important this race is. And it's going to be fun to be on the track with him and see how everything measures up.
Hey, last year when you guys had Jeff Gordon on your team, did you know him before that?
We obviously knew of him, but never.
You never really met him.
No.
And was it more of a, you won, so it was awesome, but was it more of a kind of a gimmick to have, a guy from NASCAR come and be a part of the Rolex? Was it a gimmick kind of a thing?
No, I mean, obviously it brought a ton of media, but he was so serious about it. Like the way he approached it, Ricky and I, talked about it a lot afterwards that, he came into it as a race car driver, not as, this big name driver.
Yeah.
He wanted to, do a good job for the team. And
Did you
win the
learn
race.
anything from him?
Yeah, I think that approach is what we learned from him, like how serious he took every little detail. Before he got in the car, he asked thousands.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that preparation and, work ethic that, won him all those races in NASCAR and championships is kind of what we saw when he came to join us.
Now, when he did that, did you say, "Hey, okay, we got another race"? Are you a part of it, or was it known it was just going to be for this race? He isn't going to really be part of the team.
Yeah, it was just a Daytona.
Yeah,
deal,
and have you talked to him since after winning that race, or?
Yeah, we've kept in touch, and I think he's actually coming back this week to be on the Fox broadcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Yes, Ross Pageant. Question for it's either Jordan or Ricky Taylor.
What are your Mario Kart characters?
Excellent question.
Let's
good
really
question.
get to the goods.
Luigi?
Yeah.
Luigi?
We'll play both Luigi.
He's the quickest.
Okay, you guys are both Luigi?
Tall and skinny.
That is adorable. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool.
All right. Well, listen, guys. Good luck again this year.
you gotta keep the tradition.
It's both. I mean, like there'll be a loser. You know, though someone's got it. If
They can finish 1 and 2.
If you're not first, you're last, right?
Yeah, that's
I guess you could have finished 1 and 2.
Yeah,
but,
you just want to get on the podium.
Maybe
Yeah.
you guys are too nice
No,
to
we
be
wanna watch.
successful. You guys are so nice.
they're very nice.
Unbelievable how cordial you guys are. It's nauseating.
You
They
don't
want you guys to
have
be
to look at each
maniacs.
other's faces.
Yeah, it's just nauseating.
We're
You guys
looking
have
right at each other right now.
have girlfriends, both of you?
He's got a girlfriend.
You don't? No?
You guys are way better than me.
Yeah.
They'll be racing this weekend. Tickets are still available. All you do is go to 1-800-PIT-SHOP. That's 1-800-PIT-SHOP. Good luck, guys, and thank you for
Hell
coming in
yeah,
today. We
thanks,
appreciate it.
guys.
Good luck, guys.
All right, we're coming back.